Mike? Okay.
Andrea.
Hello. Okay, Facebook.
Hello, we are back at the boat show, the world's largest water sports event here in Düsseldorf, Germany. If you follow us, yesterday we had a very interesting guest, Laurent Ballesta. And because we just can't get enough insight on his latest projects, 700 Sharks into the Dark, he is here again today. And we talk a little bit more about the behind the scenes thing of this project. Laurent, thank you very much for being here again.
No,
and
thank you.
Let us know what's going on.
About this story. Well, yeah, 700 sharks into the dark. But the funny thing is that the first time I went this place, that wasn't for the sharks. Here in Fakarava Atoll, French Polynesia, UNESCO Man and Biosphere Reserve, I went there not for the shark, but for a rumor. The rumor of a huge aggregation of camouflage groupers. I just heard about thousands and thousands of them, and so it looks to me very interesting to be there with such activity to make a whole dream come true. A 24-hour dive at 20 meters with a very big decompression issue when you spend so many hours at such depth, and that's why I chose this place, because I need that there is meaning when you do such a dive. And this place, this little channel from Pacific Ocean and the lagoon of Fakarava, is an amazing channel full of corals. It's maybe the only one channel in French Polynesia with coral inside. Normally into a channel there is too much current and coral cannot grow. Here it's possible, and so it's full of life. You can cross a lot of creatures. You don't need 24 hours to cross the eagle race like that. But if you want to be close enough to like that, you need a lot of time just to wait the right moment to be close enough for that.
How deep is this?
Oh, it's not deep. It's between 20 to 30 meters. But I wait for them for a few hours to in order they just forget me. And yeah, but the main issue was not that. The main issue was this face to face with this aggregation that happened only one time a year, and we had time enough and kind of very smart photo protocols to count them. And we count them, and the result was 18,000 groupers just here in the place, and that's the highest density.
How do you count them?
With a photo protocol, it means that I with some lines I put at the bottom, I make vertical photos. Then with a kind of photo merge, we put all the photos together. on kind of corridor. It was just 5 meter wide and 100 meter long. Then you count them on the picture. And then we did all the map. We did all the map of the past 10, because my background is marine biologist, and I have still a marine biology company. And one of our tools is underwater sonar, side scan, and also multi-beam scan. And thanks to these tools, we did the perfect 3D map of the past. And then we just multiplicate the number we find on this little corridor on all the surface where the grouper were. We did that every day for different during 2 weeks, and we arrived to this average number of 18,000 grouper, the highest density so far in the world. And the thing is that normally they are solitary, and so here they has to they fight all day. All day they are fighting from the morning to the evening, face to face, thanks to the triangle shape of the eyes. And the fight are very fast, and sometimes they are so fast that they stay like that, stick mouth in mouth, and they cannot remove, by the way.
How long in advance? Like, I think this is leading up to the event of spawning, but how many days before does it start?
They start to arrive in the past like 2-3 weeks before, and every single day they are numerous and numerous. And and there is some steps. The number grows slowly, and suddenly from one day to the other, boom, much more. Another grows, boom, boom, and at the end they don't fight anymore. They really fight when they are a lot, but when there are still space. It's like in a metro yesterday in the evening. I mean, there is so many people you cannot even fight. Everybody is like that. And for them it's the same. They fight a lot at the beginning, and day after day they are more and more tired. They lose a lot of energy every day. And at the end there are so many that they don't even fight anymore.
Are they, a very naive question, are they live like in a place nearby, or where do they all come from?
We suppose they come from all the lagoon of Fakarava. It's a huge lagoon. 50 kilometer long, 30 kilometer wide. So it's it's one of the hugest in the world, by the way, and it's really big. And they came from maybe at least half the lagoon came here. And of course, someone who live outside, but outside they can live only on a little line, so they are not allowed.
So you can suppose that a phenomenon like this is also happening in other places?
Yes, it happens. But in smaller atoll, there are really smaller aggregation. And in the other big atoll, they just disappear because of overfishing.
Ah, okay. That's bad.
So it's maybe the last big atoll with such aggregation. Yeah. And so during the 24 hours, the first hours went so fast because there is so many behavior to watch. And then the night came, so you can see the fish going to sleep. You can see the shell coming out of the reef. But in the background, there is still some shark more and more active. You see also the crustacean, the crabs coming out because the night came. But I wasn't able to be focused on little crabs and shell because it was like that around me. And during the first year, I was just scared. I mean, I was not used to such I was used to shark. I live in French Polynesia for 2 years. I was used to shark by day when they are just still resting in the current. But at night, it's something else. There is so many energy, and to be honest, during the 24-hour dive, I just ran away all time. I didn't want to stay with them too much, and so I spent my time to run. And thanks to the GPS of the boat, who was following me during the night, we saw that I swam 21 kilometers.
How do you take a GPS signal in the water?
No, the GPS was following my lights.
Okay.
from the surface.
Is it like a person swimming above you, or?
Yes, like you can see on this picture, all the time one diver was 5-10 meters above me with a huge light, and he just light my way during all night. Every 3 hours they change the diver.
How does it feel if you're like the one person in the water, even controlling the moonlight?
You mean if I feel like a god?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
No, I feel like a tiny little guy in the middle of that. And of course, year after year, we felt more and more confident. But this first year, the best image I did was this one from far. And then I ran away, take a picture and run away. I was not able to, I didn't know how safe it was or not to stay with them. So it was fascinating, of course, so I stayed a bit, but then I left. But that was the first year, and we went during 5 years. And when the morning came, during the 24 hour, and the sunrise, okay, I didn't see a lot about the shark activity, but I understood. I understood that a lot of things happened during the night. Many of the grouper was like that, with big injuries on their body, and I thought, but it was wrong to. I thought that it was because maybe the grouper is maybe weaker than the other species, because I never see such injuries on the other species. So I thought it was because they was maybe are not as smart, or that was completely opposite. The truth was the groupers was the only one able to escape the jaw of the shark even after have been bitten like that. And they are so resilient. They are able to cure from big injury like that. This one is nearly okay. And look at this one, half his head is missing. And look, it's perfect clean, and it's perfect scars. It means that it doesn't happen the day before. That's happened the year before.
Oh, that's so this one is even able to hunt.
Yeah,
like this.
Look, he spent 1 year like that, at least. And is here fighting with the other all day during, every day, until the D-Day. The day where the female are like that, with this huge belly, ready to explode. And at this point, you can see the male, they change the pattern, they change the color. They put the gray suit of serious business, because now it's the D-Day.
And is there any like reason behind, like practical reason? Is it like because in the big chaos going on, they don't recognize which is my male, so they have to look different?
No,
or?
they are just very excited, and they have to show that I'm here, this female is mine. I fight for 2 weeks now, so I want to keep her. And so they really stay with the female. They don't want to let her go. They really stick to the female as long as they can. They really spend a lot of energy to embrace the female, until the moment the female in the late night. The morning is closed, and suddenly the female just jump and spawn. And of course, a lot of other male came, opportunist ones, and try to fertilize the eggs during this very short and very intense ascent. That's less than 1 second, the jump, half a second, boom, boom, that's it.
So do I get it right that this is the moment everything happens, and how long does that moment actually take?
The moment is half an hour for a full year, for a whole year. And it was weird because it's so fast. You don't see what really happened inside inside that. And it's weird because it looks that even if one male fights during 2 weeks, it looks that everybody has an opportunity to fertilize, to reproduce. So why spend so many energy? Why so many fights, so many danger because of the sharks to came 2 weeks before, if at the end everybody has a chance to reproduce? I would have said them, come the day before. Just come the day before. It will be enough. Of course, I was wrong, because if you see the slow motion, if you see image per image, you can see that all the time there is only one male, one female. So the male didn't win the exclusivity. It win just the priority. Half a second priority, because just after the other male came and fertilized. And at the end, the pass is just full of eggs like that. It's tons of eggs. The blue water changes white like that. In the early morning, there is some late reproducer. And then a second wave of predator came. The small one, this just little blue fish. And they came not to hunt on the grouper, but to hit on the eggs. And there are 100,000 of them eating the eggs until the current pushed the eggs outside of the channel.
Can we see the one photo of the spawning again? Because if I calculate right, you said you've been there for 5 years?
Yes. And to be honest, I success the first year, just one picture, a kind of photo like that in the early morning, really not a good one. And so I was very frustrated. I did a 24-hour dive with Dove every night, and 18,000 groupers, so you imagine it's going to be something huge, and I have one picture, something very short and not even efficient. So we came back the year after and said, okay, second time I will be better. No photo at all the year after. We missed completely the event. It was 2 days before we thought. We came a third year, say this time I know. Third year, same mistake. We missed the event. And it was only the fourth year that we really success the mating.
And the fifth year again?
And the fifth year we success again.
So you have roughly like 1.5 hours in 5 years with this moment to shoot all your photos.
That's why when June arrives, I would like to be there every year.
Do you know the point in time really before it actually happens?
Now, yes. Now I'm pretty sure to be able to know what time that's going to happen. Of course, they are completely focused on the full moon, but it's not the full moon who's going to really start the spawning. It's something else. You are ready to check every pregnancy. You have to check the female the day before, and if you really look at her, you can see that the shape of the belly change, and they start to have a little leak to the belly. And I think this little leak make a smell in the pass, and all the females synchronize because of this little smell around. And that's also the little smell who say to the shark that that's going to happen. And suddenly there is some shark species that the great reef shark are all the year here. But suddenly, just 1 or 2 days before, you have the lemon shark coming. You don't see them the rest of the time. There is what we call the black tip reef coming. You don't see them. There is the silver tip. You don't see them the rest of the year. And suddenly, just 2 days before, they arrive. So that's also a very good signal.
What is the reason that they synchronize? It's just the more chance to reproduce because it's like a more bigger mass, or?
Yes, I mean, if you are 1,000 of you mating, there is a good opportunity that main of the eggs will be free. If there is only one spawning, boom, everybody is eaten.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah. And the most touching, emotionally thing is that the day before there are 18,000, and the day after there is no one anymore. In one day they left, all of them, except maybe a few of them. They are too weak to leave, and they're going to die and to stay here because they are too weak. And so they say, see you next year, and that's what we did. See you next year. During 5 years, we came back here in the channel. That's a kind of paradise, by the way, so it's not a big deal to come back. And come back with more and more friends to see more and more groupers. Yeah.
If you pick out the guy in the team that does a very important job but never get any attention, you know what I mean? Because this is a huge team. I guess there is a lot of different jobs that have to be done. Like, what is the job that people would probably never know about, but it's very important to get this project done?
There is no one who is here with a little job. Huh? Everybody has to be there for at least 3 jobs or 4 jobs together, because I mean, that was very intense. We dove every night, sometime 3 times a night. It means that we don't really sleep, or just 2 hours, 1 hour, this kind. And when the day happen, you should go to sleep, but you continue to go to dive during the day. Anyway, it's a really tiny island. Everybody is there, so there is too much activity by day. So, and after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, to realize that you never sleep, and except 3 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, like that, and you start to be very tired, and you start to feel weak, and you have to keep energy, because the spawning will be just one night, so you have to keep energy as the grouper who fight, you know. So that's important that the team are really aware and really looking each other to say, no, don't go today, you stay and rest a bit, because we need you for the next day.
So you share the time in the water? You don't?
Yeah,
like
a bit.
Okay.
I don't share the time. I go every time, but
really?
Yeah,
you're
and then I sleep during August. All August I slept.
Hibernating.
Yeah. And because of course we were waiting for the spawning, is just half an hour, but we had awards every night. Every night there is the shark activity, and that was so fascinating, so attracting when you know even the shape of the change at night. I mean, look at them. It's not a gray reef shark anymore. It looks so strange. Even his mouth changed. The shape of the mouth changed. And during the first year, we really didn't dare to approach when we saw them breaking the coral sometime to flush out prey or.
What is the sand steering up? This is all only the sand. This is had nothing to do with the
sand
grouper.
of the shark breaking the coral sometime. Yeah.
And you are shooting photographs here only with the light that you have from the diver?
Yeah,
next to
most of the time I don't hold any strobe light myself. I have 2 guys who hold the strobe light for me. The idea is to have a kind of perfect light, like a moonlight. And so it means that I want the same light really at the background and in front. So if I hold the light myself, I just burn the first, and it's dark behind. So I need the light outside of me.
But this is a continuous.
This one is a
light.
continuous, but I have also some strobe lights on cables.
Okay, so like the amazing photos that we see in the book.
On this picture, there is 3 layers of lights actually,
and it is continuous light and.
There is three layers of light. There is mine, there is another one with a strobe light bar for the second frame, and there is a third light at the really background to make this kind of blue background.
You can buy the book, by the way, at the exhibition. This one is not available because there's a little personal note in it for us, so we can't give this away. Now, this sounds very easy when you say that. But you have
it's
to,
a kind
you have
of
to
coordination. Yeah, to do all this picture, we spend 3,500 hours underwater.
Is that all the people put together?
Yeah, put together, of course. And 3,500 hours doing exactly the same dive every night, every day, from point E to point B. You know, adventure is a routine. I mean, if you want the adventure successful, you need to change it in a kind of routine. And that's what we did every day, every night, the same dive. And that's why we had all this very short event when they bite each other, when they bump each other. And we had to be also used to the contact with them. And at the beginning, that was not easy to be used with them like that. You know, you can see that that was the first year. I don't really feel confident yet. If we'll do the same picture now, you will see that I'm my hair in the frame. I continue even if we are bumped. But of course, at the beginning, that was a bit scary.
How many photos did you shoot?
I shoot, during the 5 years, I shoot 85,000 pictures, and I broke 2 cameras. And the shark cut the wires, because we had this long cable from me to the strobe lights, and twice I was like that, my camera disappeared. The shark lived with the cable and cut it, and then the camera was broken. But thanks to Sicam, my partner, they changed the housing every time, and Nikon as well changed the camera. Yeah.
How do you communicate? Do you have like
No, but we know each other for years and years, and they know when I'm not happy. They really heard.
This is the way they learn.
When I'm not happy. I shoot them a lot, and the water, but actually maybe I just tell you to you, I should maybe sign the picture with the name of the lighters. They are really part of the success.
Yeah.
Don't tell them, because after they're going to say it's my picture. No, it's mine.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have 3 different light sources, like you know each other that well.
And we talk every day. I mean, in the morning I say, "Guy, you were not at the right place. It was perfect, but you turned the light on me, and you have to turn next day, stay like that, and you come here." And because we did exactly the same dive every night, we were better and better the first year, the book, there is a 200 picture, okay, from the 85,000. But from the first year, there is 3 pictures.
Okay.
From the last year, there is 150 pictures, because we really need to learn to do that together. But okay, you see the video, it looks maybe impressive, but we never had injury except one day. One day I had this little cut, and I thought it was a shark, but it wasn't. It wasn't a shark. On the slow motion camera, you can see that it was not coming from the shark directly. It was coming from a surgeonfish, and you know that a surgeonfish has 2 blades on the tail, and the shark was shaking the surgeonfish, and that was the blade of the fish who cut my leg. So that was not the shark. I was a victim of a shark with a weapon, with a blade. That's something. But that mean that nothing happened to us. I need to add that it's the evolution of the first year. Look at the diver. If he can put his legs behind his head, he will do. But the same one, it's 1 year later, and the year after is completely behind. But it's important to keep in mind that, of course, these pictures start to be famous, and the BBC Blue Planet buy our images, so it's quite famous now. And a lot of people came to the place and want to make the night dive. Nobody made night dive before us. But now everybody wants. There is already 3 important accidents happen after us. Nothing happened to us, but because there is all this step, we were so scared at the beginning, and it asked a lot of time. One guy make a panic and reached the surface from the bottom and had a kind of lung accident. Another one lost half his hand with the sharks. And a third girl had an accident on his legs and lost a part of the lowest part of his legs. I mean, that can be dangerous anyway. Mainly if you go too fast, if you burn the step to feel confident. And you don't use, we didn't use iron suit on all this stupid thing, but because we want to be in harmony. I cannot say that it's safe if I dive with an iron suit. I mean, there is a point you need to be.
You need to
your
trust
behavior
your
has to be as your
yeah,
word.
Of course.
But at least keep your gloves, keep a hood, minimum, and
the socks.
And the socks.
Even
if here it doesn't have.
There is a question about the socks. Why the socks?
Yeah, because if you let your feet, the little white part of you, and you are all the time swimming. And of course, that can happen. That if the nose of the shark is on you, that something can happen. And by the way, the accident happened. The guy was the guy and the girl was diving with a shorty, you know, no arms, no legs. There is a point that, I mean, of course.
But you touch a very interesting point that we have it a lot in the comments. Is also like as you go there and you do this scientific, and there's a quite also a diving challenge, but also like an artistic angle to this, and you get like a lot of amazing publicity for this thing happening in the nature. There's also a lot of people understanding where this is, and then they also go there. So there's also some kind of responsibility. Did you ever think about not telling people where it actually is?
No, it's impossible. The place is well known. There is hundreds diver every day. It could be even the first time I did an expedition in a touristic place. Most of the time I go in Antarctica, in very wide place where there is no boats and no diving centers. But here I went for the grouper aggregation because nobody, even if there is a lot of divers, nobody report the spawning. So I thought there is something new to do. Then we discovered that by night because nobody was diving at night. So that's quite rare to know there is so many divers and nobody knew about what happened by night. So that was, and of course I feel responsible, but I lead on side of the film and photo production. I lead a scientific expedition, and we give a lot of advice asked by the French Polynesian government to regulate the dive here. So normally, the dive are forbidden by night. Normally, when the grouper are aggregate, you can't dive, you cannot, you have to drift and not stop when they made. There is a lot of rules. Now, it's the responsibility of the diving guide, the diving instructor, to make the rules respected.
All of this is happening in current? In current?
Yes, in the current. You have to swim all the time. All the time you are swimming a bit against the current. If you don't swim, you cross the channel in 30 minutes and it's end of the dive. So if you want to stay 3-4 hours every night, you have to swim all the time. It's not big current, you can swim against it, but that's meant to swim all the time. And I mean, it's really to understand what happened that we come so close, huh? Because sometimes you cannot imagine what happened inside. You know, of course, and the most important of the hunt, it's in the middle of the pack. Sometimes there is a kind of windows open, and here it's too late, I would say. What we understood really early is that if the shark try alone to hunt, he never success. Look at this one, he bite for nothing, and one of his teeth is licking. I discovered that on the picture months after. And but you know, we have this idea, this wrong idea that oh, poor little red fish. But it's not a poor little fish. It's an incredible fish, able to be much faster and smarter than the shark. This fish is here is the result of millions years of evolution in such condition, and you don't have to complain him. The shark is to complain, is not able to catch it alone. But even here, you can imagine that this one is done. And the second picture is tenths a second after. And look at the fish, he hops out down and the shark bite for nothing. And it's really tenths a second. It's how you say, you know, when you take a lot of pictures, it's 10 pictures per second, but the two pictures is one to the other. So it's so fast. But of course, when they start to hunt together, that's another deal for the prey. When they start to surround the prey like that, half a second and the prey disappear. There is no way to escape.
The aesthetic of the whole series of photographs, is that a natural result of the way you have to act with the lights, or is that like a decision on purpose that you want to have you want to have it looking like this? Because I think you can also use like completely different light settings and things. But if we look at the pictures that we see there, it's always kind of the same unique aesthetic to all of the photographs.
I mean, when I take the photo is for everything, for science report, but of course, in my mind, I keep the artistic point of view. So I had hundreds picture of shark surrounded prey, hundreds of picture of the shark of school coming on the prey, but there are very few of them that I consider like a piece of art. But I want both. I want something who really document a behavior, but something that you can put in your living room and watch for a while.
What camera are you using?
I'm using the Nikon D5.
And that is a resolution of?
The resolution doesn't matter, even if it's a very good one. It's something like 20 million pixels. But the most important is the sensibility. So, most of the picture are 6,000 ISO, 6,400 ISO when I took it, in order to keep this background light. You know, this kind of blue light coming from the light of my friend. It's not a huge light; it's a tiny one. But I want a very high speed. If you want high speed, fast behavior, not a lot of light, you need to really enhance the ISO. And thanks to the Nikon D5, you can really push the limit. And then with some noise filter, even if there is some noise on the picture, it's perfect in just one click.
It's really interesting because you don't really see the speed other than in the posture of the sharks.
You know, sometimes it's nice to make this kind of speed effect. It looks to me in this project that it was much more challenging to not have the speed effect. Sometimes it's a kind of easy way to make the speed effect because you have no choice. I wanted to really stop the moment. So I did some slow speed to have the speed effect. But sometimes it's some photographers say that it's an artistic philosophy, but it's also an easy way.
And there's also another technique to actually like freeze the moment and even show it from different angles. I think the GoPro.
Oh yeah, I don't know where it is exactly, but we can maybe go cross so that the prey will hide, the prey will move, surrounded, catch, trap, and then just take away like that. And it's the same for all the prey, you know, when they start to all together. Even with the most beautiful fish of the reef, same hand. First you hide, second you are surrounded if you move, and then you are trapped. And then there is a collaboration first, but then there is a competition. You really have to escape because you are followed immediately by all the rest of the school who want a piece of the prey. And the other thing that we discover is that normally they fight on little piece. The prey are 40, 50 centimeters, but when they are loud, when they start to feel confident in the middle of the night, sometimes they dare to attack such big prey like this moray eels. And at this point, the fight is much more longer. It's maybe 4 seconds fights. Before
and all of this is happening no matter if you are there with any lights or not.
Sorry?
This is happening.
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with the light or anything like this.
We try to figure out how the lights can influence the behavior. And so we did a lot of experience completely into the dark using an echograph camera, a sound camera, so no light at all. And with that, we saw that there is more difference from a full moon and a dark moon than with our lights and without our lights. So there is an impact, but it's really a tiny impact if I compare with just the effect of the full moon. And of course, everything goes so fast. For example, even this one full frame, I didn't see what happened. I just feel and anticipate the predation and take my picture and lucky enough to have the good frame. And that's why the slow motion video was interesting. And I have a sample of slow. Oh, it doesn't work? No, it doesn't work. Okay, I hope that the...
How do you focus?
I don't. I just use what we call the hyperfocal. It's mean you use a wide angle, and then you set the biggest depth field you can. It's mean from 40 centimeter to infinite, and you work with that, and you hope that everything going to happen inside. The fifth years, I try to make the same picture. Sorry, I don't have someone here. Using macro lens to have the same behavior, but really very from far. So you have to use the focus. So of course, a lot of pictures are missed, but some of them are really interesting as well. But the most difficult was really to find a way to light the night. I mean, to find a way like that to give this impression of night. The idea is not to change the night in day. No, that would be stupid. But to keep this kind of very sensitive light, like if it was night, like if it was completely dark, but it's not. That was the point. And the secret, of course, we already done is that we did the job during 5 years, 5,000. Sometimes we were 9 into the water. And well, the secret is that there is no secret. If you go a lot, you have a lot of good results.
How do you get one of those jobs?
Sorry?
How do you get one of those jobs?
I never recruit anybody. It's a story of friendship, of guy I know for a long time, and sometime by chance you are at the same place at the same moment. You dive together, and it works well, and so you continue. But I never push on Facebook and announce to recruit divers. It's coming like that by chance. If you have something that you're the only one able to do, maybe I'm going to take you for one, and maybe if it works well, you will be part of the team. But yeah, I try to be loyal, and fidelity is one key of the success of this project, to do this thing with the same guy from the run in order to change it. And yeah, there is also what we did that was quite impressive also, to imagine that in the middle of so excited sharks, it was able anyway to make tonic immobility. I was sure that tonic immobility was possible only on shark very calm by day in Bahamas water, where they are really used to divers. But I really didn't know that it was possible here in the middle of such mess.
I think you have to explain.
And of course, why we did it.
No, what it is.
Oh, the tonic immobility is something that has been discovered in the 70s. So a long time ago, I didn't discover that. There is not a lot of explanation sharp, but it looks that if you can turn upside down a shark, you overstimulate all his sense, and the shark is like paralyzed for a lot of time, as long as you can hold it. And so it's more a kind of circus stuff, it's useless most of the time. And to be honest, when we start to do that, it was the 4th years. Before that, we don't even dare, and it looks impossible when they are so excited. The truth is that it was opposite. The most excited they are, the easiest you can do that. That's weird, but that's what we see. And we do that first to say, hey, look what I'm doing. Look. That was a bit stupid, I know, but suddenly I understood that it's not a circus. It's not circus stuff. It's going to become a scientific tool. We're going to use this technique to choose the shark we want to put an acoustic tag on. It's not to be a fisherman on surface to catch them with a big hook, and it's quite a bit traumatic, and you cannot choose them. Here, I'm going to be able to choose a male, a female, a young one, a old one, and using this technique, in just a couple of days, we capture 40 sharks, male, female, young, olds. We put acoustic tag into the belly with a surgeon operation. And then I hope this one to work, yeah. And then we were able to modelize the movement of the shark. So the color boat are the one with the tag, and we discover, for example, that they make a couple by night. When night arrives, they leave from the entrance, they go a little bit more close to the exit of the channel, and they start to hunt together, making kind of what we call shark tornado. You remember the stupid movie, Shark Tornado? But that's true. That's happened underwater.
Is that a simulation? Is that like real data?
Yeah, it's coming from the real data, and then of course there is people from cinema who make something nicer.
Yeah, of course, but like
but the movement are the true ones. Yes.
This is how the shark.
Yes, exactly.
Hunt in
so
the night.
You can understand. And what we saw is that, and then every morning they go back, except two of them will disappear forever, maybe eaten by a great hammerhead, I don't know. And so that's what we figure out during 1 year, because we let the tag during 1 year and we let the antenna during 1 year. Yep.
How do you do the surgery?
Sorry?
Do you do the surgery in the water, like
no,
putting the tag
that was the first idea. We put them upside down, I cut, and well, we tried once, that was a bit dangerous. And so the thing was, we just hold them, put a rope at the tail, call the surface, and they put the shark very fast at the surface. As is held by the tail is still in tonic immobility, and we put them just on shore the boat, and it was just 2 minutes surgery to put it in belly and go back. 2 minutes, except when the great hammerhead came to the surface to bite one.
Did he
Yeah.
succeed doing that?
No, but it really scared the team.
That's very good, because it's your responsibility to protect the shark.
Yes,
That can't
yeah.
do anything. That's
Yeah.
very nice of
Yeah.
you.
And what can I? Yeah. So that was the idea. The study helped us to change what we call the frenzy, chaotic hunts, as we thought for the past, into something much more social, much more organized. And that's what we were very proud, because once again, it's so fast that if you just look with your eyes, it's just frenzy, frenetic and chaotic, but it's not, definitely. And then now it's what we figure out the last year, that what we call the arch of image. It's a 4-meter iron, we say, arch, and with 32 cameras on. 32 camera, every 10 centimeters there is a camera. And so first we had to learn to swim with. That was not easy in the current to manage this big vessel. And the use of that is, I'm sure everybody remember Matrix movies, and it was a long time ago now, 15 years at least. And there is this completely new kind of cinema shooting, what they call the bullet time shot. And remember, it was a fight scene, and suddenly the frame stopped, nothing, but the frame changed, and the scene was completely frozen, but the camera changed the angle and come back, and that was completely new and amazing. And from this point, during Matrix, I said, wow, do the same thing with wildlife. But I never find the place where it will be very exciting and what will be very useful. And here I say maybe that could be the right place. So we figure out that, and we go back, and then we try. But sharks are not Hollywood actors. They don't obey to the director. They do what they want, so most of the time they go away to hunt. So most of the time you are swimming with the 4-meter arch and for nothing. But it's the same secret as the picture. If you do that every night, there is a point that it can work. And because of course the hunt has to happen in the middle of the arch. And that's happened 10th time. 10 times that's happened, and I have few samples. Oh no, yes, at least one. Look, we change, we discover the prey and the couple. And you think it's going to be for this one, but it's not. This one is just and it's the opportunist other who keep it.
Wow.
Look at this one. Yeah, you can see really the couple, and here you want to see that he escaped one.
Wow.
He escaped a second one. He escaped third one, maybe not. But if you change, you can see that he keep it and live with. With the sound is much more impressive. We should have look at that.
Amazing.
Because we turn, we understand he was really surrounded. He had no way to escape and finish in the jaw of another one. Of course, if you are just one frame, you cannot understand really the hunting strategy. For example, the couple strategy didn't came from all the tag and the modelization 3D. It came from that, the ID. And then we test the ID on the 3D model, and we realize it works.
And this continuous video that you shoot with the GoPro?
Yeah, GoPro was not the. I would have preferred really the parallels camera, to be honest. But anyway, and yes, the thing is that we cannot on the water. You cannot synchronize the camera. There is no remote. There is no Wi-Fi. Bluetooth doesn't work underwater. So we have to switch on each camera rec. Then, like in Hollywood, you have to make a clap.
Mm-hmm.
And then you record during all the dive, and then you have 2 hours video for 32 camera that ask from one of the guy the full day to discharge the camera, and when he finished to discharge, it's time to dive again the next night. So that was a tough work for the guy of the arch. Not only diving, but also to just discharge the 32 cards.
Do you have a specific person who is only dealing with all the data?
Sorry?
Do you have a specific person who has nothing to do but just to deal and back up?
Then
and
to mix the thing.
No, to deal with your photos, like to store everything, to make a backup, and to make sure everything.
With my still photograph, there is no problem. But when we were this year, it was with a main production. There is the book, of course, 700, but there is also a film called the same 700 Sharks into the Dark, and so it was a big team with a lot of. It was a 2 Pelican case of hard disk, and so it was enough to load all these data. The big problem was to process the bullet time shot, because we are documentary filmmaker. We are not a science fiction filmmaker, so we don't know nothing about special effect, about post-production, and we lost 2 months just to understand that we were not able to treat the data, and that we have to give the data to someone else to make the movement. But I didn't want that to finish the presentation with this kind of big, the idea of a huge production, of a lot of equipment, and so a lot of money. I want to let the message that, I mean, wildlife watching, underwater wildlife watching is something new, and even by chance, just to go, you can watch a lot of things. I'm really in love with this single picture. Is just a flat surface raining and this shark crossing, and you don't need a lot of equipment to do something new like that. And even this, it was the very last day, all the equipment was already packed, and suddenly through the surface, really on the shore, I saw all these little banded surgeonfish coming, and the shark was escorting them, and in just a few minutes they start to go up to the surface and start to spawn like that in few minutes. That was an amazing event. It was 2-meter depth, okay? It was close to the beach, close to the deck, no current. and it was an amazing event. I mean, big cloud of eggs where the shark disappear inside in really the perfect light. And I remember I stand back, I look back if my friend came join me to film that, because already the equipment was packed. And he was there, not even with a suit, just with a tank, and not even he was just one fin and the camera and doing that. And I looked the surface, there was two kids, one with his father like that, with a little snorkel, with the buoy at the arms, watching the same amazing event as me, with the perfect light, the fish who give life, the shark who try to keep their life. And my thought at this point was to say, how could I be scared by that 5 years sooner? How could I be scared by such beauty, by such harmony? And my conclusion that the only thing who should scare us is if something like that go to disappear. That will be very scary if that disappear. That's my
Thank you very
last
much.
word.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
1 hour.
Anybody wants to ask a question? Now is the time. I think we keep talking and we can talk even longer. I think you have to come back a third time.
I think we've got one question
Yeah.
over there.
On the lighting, you used LED lights.
What?
On the lighting, you use LED lights, but how did you get the colors coming out with the LED? Because you can often not get the colors.
Oh, the easy thing is that with sharks, with groupers, they are not red, they are not yellow, they are gray, and so that was quite. I didn't need to really enhance the color. For example, red or yellow, you really need a lot of light to enhance them, to make them coming back. And so it can look weird, but I didn't use very powerful lights. I use a lot of lights in different places. Here there is, as I told you, at least 3 layers of lights, but no one is big lights. Mine, the strobe light, I have just one strobe light, and it's hundreds of its full power, hundreds. And the second one are quite far. It's not even, it's 20% of the full power. And the last one is just still lights. So it's not a lot. The main important is that the picture was made at 6,000 ISO. And thanks to that was able then to restore the good lights. I didn't want to have the coral red or yellow. The idea was just to have this kind of moonlight. So that was easier than it looks.
Anyone else? Guys, now is the chance. Ah, well, there's another chance because you're going to be here. Like, Laurent, this is your last day that you're actually here at your exhibition?
According that a lot of people look interested, maybe I will come back next weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe yes.
So, should we do another session on next Sunday?
Up to you, my pleasure.
One question on here.
Yep.
One question.
So, someone is asking on social media, based on you're a hybrid of a scientific background with a creative artistic background, and now that you've finished this project, do you wish to take these talents and do another project that's similar to this somewhere else in the world?
Yeah, well, it's already done because this project ended in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And last summer, July 2019, I stay home. I can say I stay home.
Nice.
And in the same time, I never felt so far, because we use something normally strictly reserved to commercial divers. My specialty is deep ecosystem in Mediterranean Sea. There's not sharks. And these deep ecosystems are very frustrating because you go for 10, 20, 30 minutes at 100, and then it's 4-5 hours decompression, and that's frustrating. It's a privilege to watch this deep ecosystem, but it's a frustration to just spend 20 minutes. So my idea was to take the commercial diver system on oil rig, what we call saturation chambers, in order to be able to stay a full day. I mean, hours and hours, no limit at the bottom. Because when you can spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, as long as you can sustain the cold, and then at the end, instead of starting your decompression, you just go into a bell, you close the bell, you bring the bell at the surface, but it's the same pressure inside. You connect the bell to the chamber. In the chamber is the same pressure at the bottom. You hit, you sleep, you rest. When you're ready, you go back. It's the same dive. You don't have to wait for 2 hours, 3 hours, the next dive to calculate. No, it's one single dive during 4 weeks.
How deep?
120 meters was our maximum saturation level, but as we were free without umbilical, we went down to 145, and we stayed 3 to 4 hours twice a day at the bottom. And believe me, I was home. It was from Marseille to Monaco to Marseille, 600 kilometers, but on my coast. And I never felt so far. I felt like in space. I mean, we were. That was and I'm very impatient to show the film and the book.
When and where can we see it?
The film will be shown on the Arte channel in Germany, Arte channel, end of May. The same in France, Arte channel, end of May. And the book should come just after.
So there's no chance that next Sunday you're going to show us the film?
There is a big chance, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Laurent.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you again,
Thank you.
Laurent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And in half an hour, we have a film premiere together with Greg Lecoeur about the sardine run in South Africa. And until then, we take a little break.